Okay, so hello, this is dboypompeyreturns with another audio video here once again. So thank you if you've decided to click on my video. And this is going to be my top 10 mini games slash side games I've encountered over my years of gaming. So I'm going to give you a top 10 list of my favourite ones. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my breath already. Okay, so feel free to leave a comment or whatever, or your own list if you want to, if you're interested. But this is my top 10 list. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so my number 10 on my list is going to be Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2's Blitzball, but mainly Final Fantasy X. I mean, I don't really know why Blitzball gets the rep it does. I mean, I've read so much negative comments about Blitzball. I can't really understand it. I kind of like the game. I mean, it can be too much of a distraction sometimes, because I mean, I personally got really into it, and you know, you kind of feel that after a while it's you don't really get enough for it. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the league is quite long, and I mean, I think ultimately the best sort of result you can get is like Whacker's best weapon or something. But I think it's not worth going through all the trouble that the league is. But I much prefer the Final Fantasy X Blitzball game to the actual management style of what is in Final Fantasy X-2. But yeah, I like the recruiting side of it, and you get to see all these different people and just training them up and stuff. I kind of enjoyed that personally, so that's my number 10. Okay, so my number 9 on my list is Fatus from Suikoden 5. Now, from what I remember, Suikoden 5 had quite a few mini games, but Fatus is the one that I generally remember the most. I mean, I did like the fishing game, but I think Fatus just sort of got it for me. I mean, I didn't like the Linfers card games. I thought that was pretty boring, and Egbert's games. I played them just to get the pieces. But for me, I think it was Fatus. I mean, I used to sort of, when I was playing it early on in the game, and I would get Ibora to look into a report for someone for me, because Fuyo is just standing right there. You know, she's in the same place. You just talk to her, and you can play Fatus and waste 10 minutes until Ibora comes back. So I'd like to do that a couple of times. But yeah, Fatus I kind of enjoyed the most out of all the games in Suikoden 5. So that's my number 9. Okay, so my number 8 on my list is Pazak from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I don't know if it's in the other games because I haven't played them, but I remember from Knights of the Old Republic. Oh yeah, I kind of enjoyed Pazak. At first, I could not get it at all. I just had no idea what I was doing. Eventually, I got into it, and it's kind of like blackjack, but an overblown version of it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The only thing I couldn't really understand is what it was for. I mean, you could gamble and earn a few credits or whatever it was, but I could never find out if you could actually get any kind of special items for it or do anything. I don't know. All I did was play it because it was genuinely fun. I mean, making money really was just a sort of a bonus, but I don't know if there's any kind of reason for actually doing it, or if you can enter any tournaments. I don't know. I did complete Knights of the Old Republic, but I don't ever find anything like that. Anyway, that's my number 8. Okay, so my number 9, my number 7, sorry, on my list is Star Ocean Till the End of Time and its Battle Arena. Now, I don't quite remember too much about Star Ocean because it's a game that I played a long time ago. From what I remember, I really liked the Battle Arena, and it was really fun. Just to sort of like have your little party and then go up the leagues and watch your team sort of go up the leagues like it was like a Premier League or something. And I remember having come up towards the names of these teams and pretending they were like teams in the league and stuff, and just beating them. And it was always really kind of fun and just active, and a lot of stuff going on with all the battles and stuff. So I actually kind of enjoyed just working my way up there and get up to the top. I can't remember honestly if I got to the top, if I completed it or not. So I mean, if there's any rewards, I don't really remember, but if anyone wants to know, if anyone knows any of that stuff, put a message in the comments or whatever, tell me if it was worth it, because I don't even think I completed it. I can't remember, to be honest. Okay, so my number 6 is Sugo Roku, if I'm saying that right, from Samurai Warriors 2. Now, I didn't actually play Samurai Warriors 2. I think my brother used to have the game, and I never played it. I never played the actual proper game because I preferred Dynasty Warriors series rather than Samurai Warriors. But he showed me Sugo Roku, and it's just like Monopoly, but just a really cooler version. I mean, when you're taking different places and you're taking your opponent's squares and that, you actually have to engage in some kind of battle, whether it be like just a one-on-one straight duel, or you do a battle where you have to jump up and attack these enemies, or run around and hit enemies. And the most enemies you get, if you defend that, you can defend the place, or you can attack it and take it over. So I really enjoyed that. It's really great fun. If I can find that game, that'd be so good, because it's just like, I love a Monopoly, but that's just a really good version of Monopoly for me. Okay, so now number 5 is Final Fantasy VII, and it's Fort Condor minigame. Now, I remember when I first played Final Fantasy VII, there was kind of like, after you come out the cave and you head towards Fort Condor, you do like a little bit, and you kind of think, oh, that's quite fun. I wish I could do that again. And he's like, and you talk to the guy, and he won't let you play, and you have to come back later on in the game. So I was kind of glad that you could actually do that later on in the game and play the actual minigame. I really did enjoy the strategy aspect of it. I mean, looking back on it now, it is really dated. The graphics are, I mean, what they're supposed to be are almost unrecognisable. What you're actually using, whether the machines or people or monsters, I ain't got a clue. But it was just a strategy of putting the placements, putting the different places in there, different units in there, and watching them affect the other oncoming enemies. It was really, that was probably one of my most favourite aspects of the game early on. That Fort Condor minigames. That was for me my number 5. Alright, so my number 4 on my list is Final Fantasy VII again, and this time it is the Battle Square. I know Final Fantasy VII had umpteen number of mini games. I mean, you had the whole Gold Saucer, which is like a one big massive do what the hell you want mini game, but for me it is a Battle Square, just because it was so, at the time, I'd seen nothing like it before, and it was just a great fun how everything was sort of like, roulette, spin a wheel, you got the gun pointing to your head, what's going to happen sort of situation. And I mean, many a time I've been bested by just ridiculously weakened enemies, and the other way around, because the massive enemies that are really strong, you get turned into frogs or whatever they do, or you get some kind of bonus and it makes it easier to win. So for me, number 4 is Final Fantasy VII's Battle Square. Okay, so I'm into the top 3 now. So for me, the number 3 is Rogue Galaxy and its Factory. Now, I was kind of split. I did have, in my original list when I was making this, I did have Rogue Galaxies in Sectron Stadium, but I do much prefer the Factory, and that's really because of the music. That music of the Factory theme is so good. I could listen to that forever, and it was just nice to have that. I mean, Rogue Galaxy is quite a high octane adventure game. There's a lot going on, a lot of battling and stuff, so it was nice to have that breakaway when you're just sitting there in the factory putting up all these machines together, being quite creative, making these things, just tinker around with all these machines and making them work and stuff, with that little theme going on in the background, and I just love it. So for me, that's my number 3. Okay, so my number 2 was Resident Evil 5 and its Mercenaries mode. Well, I mean, I played Resident Evil 4 is Mercenary mode. I can't remember if it was 2-player or not though. I'm not sure if it was, but for me, I'll put on my list Resident Evil 5 because I remember it being such great fun just playing the 2-player co-op mode of Mercenary mode. It's so good, just to go crazy with it and mash up all these enemies and use all the weapons and have all these tense moments when you got lickers all over the place and loads of Magini coming at you and all this stuff happening. It's really quite. It remains one of my greatest experiences on the actual PlayStation 3 so far. For me, it's just really great fun. And yeah, I mean, if they do it number 6, I wouldn't know. They probably should. Okay, so that's my number 2. So my number 1 minigame / side game of for me is Super Nintendo's Wall Climb game. Now, again, sort of hinting back to what Final Fantasy VII had, it had quite a few mini-games, and Super Nintendo 5 did. Super Nintendo also had a few mini-games, but this is the one that stood out for me. I mean, the fishing one ended up just being like a kind of a bore, because you were just sort of sitting there and just waiting for things to happen. And the chef game, you didn't really kind of seem to have. That was more of a story than a mini-game, because it was just kind of you just going through the text and stuff. But for me, it was the Wall Climb game. I really loved that game. It was a really enjoyable and addictive game for me to play. It was just so much fun, and just to have the the music going on, the little tune that there was, and you were climbing up and thinking, you roll the dice and see what's happening. So I remember playing that. I don't think you could get a couple of sort of decent items from it as far as the game is concerned, but just to play it and just have fun with it was just a great experience. So for me, that's my number one. Okay, so that's my top 10 list, my top 10 minigames, Sidegames list. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. If you have, leave a comment if you've got anything that you want to say that I've perhaps missed, or and just your opinion. Please let me know. But thank you for listening again if you are, and thanks again. This has been dboypompeyreturns, and see you soon. Bye bye for now.